I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions or deletions? You mentioned executive for contractual stuff,
Yes, I received some contracts, today.
and I have a personnel update. Any other additions, deletions? Okay. Approval of the 7/7 meetings. We will have to table those as we don't have a quorum. Two of the board, Andy and Sherry were not at the meeting, and Kristen's absent this meeting, so we will table the approval of the 7/7 meeting minutes till the next scheduled meeting. And that brings us to the town clerk update.
So I received, the grant agreement for the paving, so, if you wanna just take a look at that and sign it.
I'll send that back.
We had a gentleman in here looking to sell like creamies and ice cream. He has like a mobile unit that is kinda like a food truck, but it's like a tow behind. And so he was asking if we, as a town, had some sort of a peddler's permit, that he needed to ask permission to do this. And looking at our ordinances, realized we do not. There are some other communities that do, and so wanted to bring it to the board and ask if this is something we wanted to consider, because I do have some example, ordinances from at least one other community, but I was hoping to find a couple more to see if this is something we want to look into.
When you ask for permission to do the coin drop, isn't that under some provision?
That's, I think, panhandlers.
And panhandling is different than peddling?
And more or less, I mean, basically, you're just asking for board approval for a specific date.
Date and donation, yeah.
Yeah, so this gentleman would like to have some hours near one of our parks. It's not necessarily in the park, it would be alongside the street, throughout the summer, maybe ball games, soccer games, I don't know, he was talking all over. He has all of his, Department of Health, like permits or licenses to sell food items. And he's looking to do this in the surrounding communities too, not just ours, so.
So right now, do we need a motion for this, or do you wanna explore
Well,
getting it
I
at?
guess what I'm asking is, would you like for Richford to look into requiring a permit to do this?
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have some examples and I can just like email them to you guys to look over and then,
Is it just the one place their signature on here?
I believe so.
Okay.
The permit must require a fee of some sort.
Yeah, I think the one that I was looking into was like a $50 fee and it covered certain dates throughout the summer or whatever. And then, so just a reminder, I wanna put it on camera, we are having some work done at the town hall. Town hall will be closed next week. There will be no way for the public to come in and, Richie Rice is gonna do his acid wash or whatever it is on the front of the building.
It's a detergent wash, not acid, it's
Sorry.
detergent.
Whatever.
It's all biodegradable with the ground and everything.
Sorry, I don't wanna cause a ruckus there, but yes, he's gonna be working on the town hall. And that's all I have until executive.
Okay. Highway report, just the general chloriding grading, but we did have, the Wednesday after last meeting, the state approved guy came and did the cleanup. They dug down till they felt it was testing well, but they still had to do send off tests for official results. I called today to try to get the results, but apparently the guy that, I contacted the guy that did the excavating, but the guy that he had to facilitate through is on vacation and is due back either today or Wednesday, or tomorrow or Wednesday. So I'll follow up with that, to see how the testing went. But fingers crossed, it's all taken care of. We also finalized what's gonna be paid this year. So we're doing River Street from the corner to Mayhew's, Eastern Avenue from there to Roger Jondro's, Main Street from the church to the Pinnacle, also Sweat Street, Province Street from up near Blue Seal.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be just the one side of the road that's bad or both.
It's bad.
Yeah. Then the South Richford Road from the bottom to just past Beth O'Brien's. And we got the grant that I just signed for paving is gonna do the North Branch Road from the corner to the Berkshire line. It's currently closed now for culverts. So that's also bidding at the same time. And I think that's all, and that's due to happen right around the 1st of August, right?
What's that?
The paving. He's coming to town.
I believe so, they're working on that culvert.
Yes, yeah, so they can be ready for around the 1st of August. Yeah. That's all I have for a highway report.
Buildings?
Yes. On to you.
Not a lot to report. I was on vacation and we're waiting on a quote for the door at the post office, the front door. We've been in contact, Kylie has been, I have been, with Portland Glass. The bank themselves have replaced the window in their door, but they didn't put glass this time. They put wood, but they will be putting a sign on it that says the bank name on it. So people will know where to go, 'cause right now it's kind of funky looking. And as far as out here, the pillars, like she said, Richie's gonna be starting next week, cleaning the building and start pointing off the brick after he's cleaning it. So that will be looking good. We're still looking for somebody who can come and do the bottom part of those pillars, because not just anybody can. So, and once that's fixed and repaired, the rot, we can then paint the bottom of them and it'll be completed. Besides that, I don't think I have anything else I can think of. I did want to mention for the highways, they came up through and they did a really good job on my road fixing it. They came up because it was getting really bad, and they came up and they groomed it all down. It was great. It was like, oh my God, you can go over 25 without going off the road up here. And then somebody with a 4-wheeler went up through there, spinning out in circles all the way through and caused all these ruts just before the rain.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any idea who that is, that's why I'm not saying it on camera, it's something needs to be mentioned. Because that's a lot of hard work of the town's time and money for it to have somebody go up, down, and ruin it.
I was surprised how well the roads held up after that downpour last
I know.
Thursday.
Except for where the ruts are from this
Yeah.
4-wheeler, but
Yeah.
besides that, it looks great. And they did an awesome job. They really did. That's all I have.
Water and
Sewer?
I don't have anything, Alan. Right now.
The only thing I got is, I guess the gate got put in. They
Okay.
fixed the gate up at the water plant.
Good,
It was a sliding gate.
yes.
We're hoping that when we do the budget this fall, we can budget to get the mechanism to the motor so that it's like a door opener. You look at open and close the gate and
Give one to the town and, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna cost a little money because we probably wanna bury the electric line from the water plant to the gate.
Right,
But the gate, the new gate is in, and I think, yeah, he said they made it a couple feet wider,
good.
so plow truck should be able to get through there, okay. And the only other thing I had was, I see John Libby's not here. At the last meeting, he was asking about the parsonage. They wanna come off the water service completely. So I did look it up for him, and we don't have to dig it up. That's what they used to do, but our new policy is that there's a special lock we get for the curb stop cover
Okay.
that'll lock it so nobody can unscrew it and turn on the water. The only thing I would ask, and I think you should do, is have the property owner request it in writing that they want to come off the service, and then they or John can talk to Kylie. Because our billing runs from October 15th to April 15th, so I don't know, they can discuss if they wanna prorate the base from April 15th to the date they wanted to come off, and I would think they need to pay the full usage, but then we could take them off the service completely. So I'm thinking once we get the letter, we can contact Jeremy and have him lock it up. Or whatever the date is they want to
Yep.
officially come off, we can lock it up.
Okay.
Sounds good.
That's all I had.
Oh. So we do have this, for a dry hydrant pipe to be mounted on a bridge up in East Richford. And this will hopefully cure the problem and avoid any ice breakage. This is what the state of Vermont basically suggested to me. And this is a grant. Grant agreement, I should say. So I'm looking for board approval to go ahead and sign off on this.
To apply for the grant?
Yeah.
Any matching money?
It goes up to 25%,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
And the total amount of the grants for 5,000 something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to describe what the thing will do?
basically, it's gonna be a pipe that's mounted to the side of the bridge, and if we need water, it lowers down like a teeter-totter almost, and there's a special strainer at the bottom because it's not a lot of water down there, but we're able to pull water up through there and feed our engines.
So it won't work in the winter when there's ice?
If there's ice, we might have to go down and break some ice to get it to work, but it's better than what we have now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, do we have a motion to
I'll make a motion.
apply for this grant and fund it?
Yep.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
all right.
Hi. She's watching him up there through the window.
Alrighty. We do not, do you have anything for playgrounds? Since,
Not at this moment.
at this moment?
Yep.
Okay. Other business?
Yes,
Connie Burns?
Connie Burns, Debbie Burns.
Oh, sorry, Debbie, sorry. Probably not the first time that's happened to you. I apologize.
No, it's happened several times. I'm still complaining about my neighbors. It's getting worse. And I find it very interesting that my complaining is leading to the zoning people coming after me for not having zoning permits for buildings that I've had, they've been on that property for 10 years. I think I'm being singled out because of the complaints. I'm not gonna stop complaining. And I have talked to John at length about, I read this ordinance. First off, he sent me a letter that was totally ridiculous because he never mentioned anything except that there were buildings on our property that didn't have the proper zoning permits. And we're talking about buildings that's been there since 2012. Now give me a break.
Do you have the backstory to this? Karen?
I have some information. John handled until he left, and then I picked up on it. What it is about 2 or 3 months after you filed the complaint on the guys, we noticed that the addition to the garage, because we were checking the property line, was never approved. It seems that Ann denied it, and I found paperwork that your mom filled out asking for a waiver, but I don't see where it ever
And
went
it
to a
was
hearing.
because of the variance. And since we
Right.
had the survey done in 2012, we have the variance.
you have, to get a variance, you have to go to the Development Review Board,
But the
and the
variance,
town
the
gives the
variance was
variance.
denied, and we don't have a variance anymore because of the survey proved it.
The survey proved that you weren't 5 feet from the property line?
Right.
Okay, so I'll come up and check that then.
Right.
And then that one, and then I believe the other one was for the vinyl fence.
The white fence.
Right, the one in
And I
the
do
back.
have the paperwork for that.
You do, because I
Because
think
my mother-
I think I sent a
Right.
letter and said, I'm not finding a record of it, cause you had offered to come in, and I said, and I'm the one that went looking for it, and I'm not finding a record of that, and I think I sent you a quick letter that said, bring it in, or maybe it was an
Oh, I
email.
just haven't been able to meet a 3 to 5 every
Okay.
Monday or Thursday, so.
And incidentally, people don't realize it, but there's a 15-year, wait, here goes my age thing. Statute of limitations on permits, like we have 15 years to come back and say you never got it, which we normally don't do. But because you were so adamant about you having the permits, I would have never even looked into it.
Well-
Except you were adamant about having it, and I'm thinking, but I'm not finding it. In fact, didn't I say to you the last time I saw you, will you just do a search, a blind search to see if I missed something?
Well, the problem is that the ordinance itself reads a fixed structure.
Right?
And first off, John added my chicken coop, which is on,
Right.
and in fact, it's not there anymore because I
Let
had
me
it moved.
let me go and get the zoning manual.
Okay.
You get rid of your chickens?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't go up there ever because I almost want to cry every time I go by my old house. So,
Got rid of the chickens and the coop
oh,
because of my neighbors. So I have now rats.
yeah.
All kinds of rats.
Oh.
All kinds of them.
And it's
I
not
witnessed
my, it's not my coop.
No, it's not. They come with chickens. They do.
Yeah,
with
they do.
large amounts of chickens
And you
that aren't
had-
being maintained.
Well, my neighbors,
Yes.
Andrew,
Don't mention any names, please.
and the neighbor next to me, they're 221
Yeah.
South Main,
So it is.
have never cleaned their coops, never cleaned their chickens. And there are paths
There's hundreds
from
of
their
them.
house coming under
Three of
my
them, her and the
fence.
other two. There was probably 150 chickens at least.
Yeah.
Between your 3 lots, right? Yeah, that's what I said. I said, you can't
I
have that
called the
many
health-
chickens.
I called the health officer.
There's no regulations
And,
about it.
I went down to Home Depot and bought, I can't even imagine how much rat stuff I bought. But my dog got one. This was killed by poison. I've seen 3 more.
The problem with the
And the
rat poison is that the raccoons will get them, the cats will get them. So
Well,
it
I'm not
ends
gonna
up
have rats
causing-
on my property.
Oh God, no, no.
And plus the fact, we wouldn't have rats if the neighbors would clean up. The property on 221 South Main Street is ridiculous.
Mhm.
And it continues to be ridiculous, and I keep complaining. I can't even go in my backyard now because the dumbass over there sits there and screams at me across the road, and I haven't said a word to him. I work in my backyard.
I know. I understand.
Yeah, there's a history there though, so
They've
that's
got
probably
A
why.
mattress, they've got a box spring. It's ridiculous, the garbage around there.
Okay, so here's what we're doing. I was up there the last time and inspected that property, and I got with Eric, the guy that owns it, and he had it all cleaned up. The piles of junk, everything, cause I went up and I inspected it. Okay, but that was 3-4 months ago. And,
It's never,
Never
no
been.
way.
oh no, that big pile of junk in front of the house was down to nothing.
The garbage was picked up.
Right,
They now have stickers, so they do put their garbage out.
right.
But it's never been cleaned up. There's an RV that sits out there, has been there for, I don't know, Andrew or the neighbor behind us moved the camper from his lot into their lot. And you can't tell me that that camper isn't full of rodents because it leaks. And
I don't know.
and there's old mattresses, old box springs, there's
Okay.
piles of skids,
All right.
there's piles of wood and lumber, and
So Eric gave me permission to go on the property last time. He says, anytime you get a complaint, feel free to go up and inspect it. And then I have contact information, I have his cell phone, I have his email, everything.
So you'll follow up?
Yeah, I'll follow up on all of this. The problem is I'm here on Mondays or Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so I worked on it a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday, and then here we are, tomorrow's Tuesday. I talked to Terry Leonard, the health officer, lives across from me.
And I
She was
called
in
her.
the emergency room for almost a whole day, one day last week. So as soon as she's on her feet, which should probably be tomorrow, we're gonna go up and take a look at all of it. Okay, so,
I'm going to Montpelier if something's not taken care of.
okay, but as far
Because
as, let me
the rat
explain.
problem is a problem.
Okay, but we don't govern chicken coops,
Here.
Well, the
okay?
chicken coop, John told me I needed a zoning permit for it
But
because
we
it
don't-
couldn't
we don't-
be moved. And it can be moved, and that
Okay,
was
so
the
that,
argument.
now we're back, let me read this. So it says, what is a structure? This is from the definitions from the zoning bylaws. It says, anything constructed, erected, or placed that requires a fixed location on the ground in order to be used. Now, I've looked at other people's bylaws for fixed, I've looked at, dictionary.com, any place I could think of, and this is what fixed is. Fixed means fastened, attached, placed so as to be firm and not readily movable. Firmly implanted, stationary, rigid, and that's from dictionary.com. And the other towns are pretty much the same thing. So to us, John and I, fixed is something that's not easily movable. Doesn't mean it can't be moved. But if you put down a chicken coop the size of this room, that's not easily movable. That's not something even that you can hook a pickup to. You gotta get a flatbed for it. That's what we consider fixed, something that you can't pick up and move around easily.
Well, mine was
okay.
moved. And mine was an 8x16 coop.
Right. Can you move that easily?
It's gone.
It's
Right,
gone.
but didn't you
And
have to
it
get a
was moved
flatbed to
easily.
get it moved?
Well, the flatbed picked it up in the driveway.
Right, but my point is it has to be,
Well, the ordinance needs to be changed.
well, we can take that up with the planning commission, planning is who
And
changes
that green
bylaws.
fence, because you're talking about that green fence.
Mhm.
The only reason the green fence is there is to hide the neighbor's yard, because I don't wanna look at it.
Okay,
And I don't need them screaming at me every time I go through.
so I can.
And that's a dog kennel fence that can be moved.
But what's it attached to? What are the
Fence
panels?
post.
Right, so
I
it's a
can lift that
fence.
fence post out of the ground.
We can take anything out of the ground, but.
Well, then it's not fixed, it's not permanent.
But you know, if any of you, I've been there, I've seen it, I've seen the rats, I've seen them crawling all over the garbage and whatever out there. And if any of you live there, and I have to honestly
Oh, I would be
say, if
interested
I
in
live
that.
there,
I can catch
And
some
if
and bring them to
I-
your house.
But what you don't understand is.
if I paid taxes here in town, and I paid my taxes on time, you better believe
Mhm.
I would be sitting here
Yeah.
at every meeting
I would,
until
I would be in the
something was
same
done.
chair, but from a town's point of view is we don't govern chickens.
But that chicken coop was moved
That is not,
Saturday,
that
and
was
my
not
husband
ours.
moved it with an iron bar.
Yeah, I got permits for my 10x10s, so I got permits for them because they
But
have to be pulled with something heavy duty. I can't just go over and
The
pull it
point-
myself.
Right.
the point
So
is,
that's why.
the town is,
But yeah, we
the
need to
town is
get that
being
place cleaned up.
ruined, because
Yes.
pretty quick there's going to be
And we do
a
need to
rat
come up with some types of.
infestation here in the
So
village.
then maybe the
They
course
need
of
to-
action is to say, okay, let's limit how many chickens each property is allowed to have within the village limits.
Yes,
They
I'm
got
thinking.
150 chickens with 3 properties back to back, that's a lot of chickens.
And that's the reason for
That's
the
why they're
rats.
rats.
And
Because of the food.
Not the
They-
10 or 15
So
you might
maybe
have
that's
had.
the approach.
then
is
the
Oh,
not-
stay out of
animal
there.
control needs to come in play, because there's animals there in that backyard that are not being properly
Yeah.
cared for.
I clean my chickens every
Yep.
2 weeks. I went in there with Clorox,
There.
I put lime in it, I cleaned their yard. My chickens were not dirty.
Nope.
I never had a problem until my neighbors got chickens and they don't clean them. Now they've got, the neighbor over on the side of me got 6 ducks. In a little small area, they have no room whatsoever.
Okay.
What we could do, but it would mean, an amendment to the bylaws, the bigger cities have exactly what you're talking about. Sorry. That you're limited to the size, based on the size of your yard, how many chickens you can have and such.
I think that's a great idea. That's a good
We-
start.
But years ago,
I'm
didn't it,
thinking,
and if
rather
I'm
than,
wrong, correct me please, but years ago, wasn't there something that said that people could not have animals in town?
Nope. Somebody had already done that with chickens before, and it was all shot down.
We've
Wasn't
had
that
goats
deer
and
based,
everything else.
Marcy, that
Yes.
chickens?
Alan,
Yes,
what were you saying,
and
Alan?
that was all
I'm
shot down.
just thinking, if we're gonna change the bylaws, and it sounds like
You
we
have
should
to.
look at doing it, rather than counting people's chickens or animals, I would think we might wanna consider, having any type of structure that's gonna be used to house any kind of animal would be subject to zoning, regardless of whether it's permanent, can be
Temporary.
moved. Any structure that will be used to house any animal,
That's kind of how the
except
cities have
maybe
it.
a doghouse or something, is subject to getting a
Yeah.
zoning permit.
Well, our house was up for sale. You know, the people that looked at it, very nice house, loved the house. Minute they looked out the window, no way.
I know.
I pay taxes here.
Yeah.
I get that, but you have to understand that our zoning or the town, none of the towns, unless they have a written ordinance, gets involved with chickens, and they don't get involved with how often the chicken coops are cleaned or anything else like that.
Well, they need to get involved with the rats then.
So, yeah, so if Richford gets infested with rats, then what happens?
I can't answer that.
Then
Yeah.
what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It's gonna be on
But
WCAX,
the-
TV news, there's not gonna be anybody moving to Richford, there's not gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
I think we need to limit the amount
Yeah.
So-
of
But
livestock
rats
that's
make
allowed
sense
in
to me.
town.
We have rats in some of the
And
rentals
permits.
down around the river too, and they get rats from the river, which is a brown rat, it's the same rat, so
Well,
there's
some of
different.
those rats come from within the houses because the
So it
sewer doesn't work
sounds like we need to
properly.
change the
Yeah.
ordinance so we can address it,
So-
bottom
Yes.
line.
So
Yep.
let's
Yeah.
let Karen and the health officer come do their job, and Karen will also explore what it'll take to change the ordinance to fit our current.
Well,
Or
I'll tell you what,
bylaws.
these neighbors, and I'm very sorry to say this, I don't care what you change, they're not gonna abide by it anyway.
Okay, so first
But
of all,
I've called the state police on with the dog, during that stretch of
who has
hot
the
weather.
dog,
Pardon?
221?
No.
Okay,
Tied to a chain on a makeshift dog house. And
did that ever get
24/7
reported to the
And I called the
animal?
state police, I called Montpelier, and they sent fish and game wardens up. And I happened just to see the fish and game wardens come up because the dog barks constantly, which Tracy tells me she can't do anything about. And so and no wonder the dog barks constantly, I don't blame it. But the dog had no water during those hot days. She got a little bowl of water in the morning at 7 a.m. And at 8 p.m. I went to bed and that dog still didn't have water. So the fish and game warden came up and I listened to her. Oh, yeah, I go out every 45 minutes and give him water. He's all water, he's good. She's a liar.
Who goes out every 45 minutes to get their dog water?
All right, well, we'll do what we can on this end, like as we've discussed, and take it from there.
And then as far as the gentleman behind you, I think that's gonna be over within the next 2 weeks, because he came in and we talked about it, and he bought a house,
In New
must be
York.
2 months ago in New York. And the problem is he's trying to work on that house and get that house so they can move into it, and then he'll address this house. And this house, he said it won't be like it was, it'll be cleaned out, and then it'll go on the market. So I think that part of it behind you will be cured within the next 2 weeks simply because of the circumstances. But the other one, we'll look into it. And I have pictures of the one behind you, and that's part of my inspection too.
Okay.
So I think that,
Hopefully he takes his chickens with him.
you know, yeah, I think he is. The chicken coop will be gone, and just about everything else should be too. But as far as the other, but Terry and I will work on it now that she's feeling better. And like I said, I'm only here Tuesday and Wednesday. Sometimes I go out and do inspections during the week. But I think what we'll do is we'll just continue and do what we were gonna do. As far as your permits, please bring me what you have.
I will. My mother's got a folder like this there.
Yeah, well, I knew your mother, so that doesn't, that's why I couldn't understand. I'm saying something's wrong because Connie did things by the book when she was supposed to be, and she was diligent about it. And I'm thinking, why can't I find anything? So.
Alrighty.
But bring that in and I'll take a look at what you have. And if it does turn out, once you got it, that it is the 10 feet or over, because Ann did it because it was only
Ann did.
5 feet.
And I did look back when you said that, and so I looked back and it was a denial, which I
Right,
didn't see.
yeah.
Okay, but it was because of the variance.
Because of the setback. Yeah, and you would have gotten a variance, you would have had a hearing and everything.
And, yeah, and it was decided that.
Okay, yeah, so I think that as long as it's, and I'll look into that, I'll just walk it, because I know what my pace is, I don't need to come out and get technical or anything.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll take care of that, and as far as the fence that's on the left side of the road, because it's attached to poles, we're not calling that a temporary fence.
Okay.
So, I think that's something that you need to get a permit on, and then the vinyl fence
Well, that's fine.
the vinyl fence will figure out what to do, but if I'm not showing it, you have to show me. Okay?
One permit, 1 feet, put absolutely
Well,
everything
That's
on
what
it.
I do, I put
So-
everything on there, we can charge up to like $200 for no permit or late permit, but I don't usually, I figure you're here, I'm thankful for that, and I'm, I know we can, but if it's somebody who's absolutely just being obnoxious and won't get it, then I'll charge something, but, I don't see that happening.
No, well, as I
Okay.
said, my coop is
Yeah.
gone, so. I
Yeah,
don't have to worry about
and
that.
bring in the permits that your mother, that you have, because I need to know where they are, and if they're not recorded for some reason, we need to get them recorded,
Okay.
okay? You agree?
Mhm.
Okay.
Alrighty. Rita, do you have anything?
Yeah, a few things. First of all, I wanna thank the town crew for going and taking down the trees by the library, and the beautification committee will be, once they're done with the painting and stuff, we'll put some type of a bush that maybe won't get so out of
Big.
hand. With that. Which brings me to the, both at Davis Park and then Intervale Avenue is back here, where they took down the trees and stuff so that you could have a better view of the park.
Yes.
Now you've got weeds going up, so it's just who's
So it has to
gonna-
maintain mowing.
Yeah, if they could just do
Maintain,
some especially since they have a beautiful bench out there, but if you sit on the bench, all you see is the weeds. And then at one time down at Davis Park, they did a lot more mowing, like they mowed right up to the river and that, and I don't know who's responsible for that, but it's gotten to the point, it's probably gonna be needing to be brush hogged before they can get down to the.
So the boundaries are a little different in Davis Park than what they were, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Where they mowed?
Yeah,
So that'll be our new contract, so it'll be something to bring up to them.
Yeah, years ago, they didn't mow it, and then they started to, and it looked really nice when they did, and then they're back to not having done it. And so, I was also wondering about Green Avenue. I know they said, Jason had mentioned, and I do believe,
Sorry, I
that,
forgot.
yeah, it's in bad shape. I was just wondering,
It's on the paving list.
it's on, okay.
I went over before you got here, I went over what was being paved, and that is
Okay,
one I forgot.
Okay, and did you get any progress with the speed tables?
No.
Okay. Because I mean, Green Avenue is one of the places you had for the speed bumps. And, it would be good that, because those are probably gonna need to be incorporated somehow when you're doing the paving and stuff, and that, just kind of piggyback those two. And then with the police, I know you've been working diligently, it's been an uphill stride, but I was kind of wondering about with the funds that we voted in, what's happening to those? I'd hate to see that 151,000 that we slated for it just wind up kind of trickling off over to something else.
Well, I don't
They
think,
cut that budget, it was 75, and I don't think they've talked about what they're doing with it yet.
I think if anything, we might have talked about using some of the money for some cameras, but other than that, I don't think we've touched anything for the
No.
policing.
Okay. Guess that's it.
Alrighty. Robert, do you have anything, Mr. Weatherby?
Yes, I do, just a couple quick things. On the so-called Upper River Street, was there ever a count of pedestrians that crossed that road before and after the no parking signs were put in?
No, there was not.
So you really don't know how safe it is then?
How safe what? Crossing the street versus taking out the parking spots is what you're saying?
Yeah, right.
Uh,
I think you just made it easier for the truckers, not for the pedestrians.
I don't think we ever claimed that we were making it easier for pedestrians. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's crosswalks.
There's crosswalks.
Right, but if you park halfway up, you either got to walk up towards where Jimmy's store was, or you got to walk down to the corner to get across.
Right.
Correct.
Can some handicapped people do that?
Yes.
Well, Robert, they'd have to get across the street one way or the other. And those buildings are not handicap accessible. So I mean, we're splitting hairs here.
It's
So
like
I-
any
so I
other
hear-
town.
So to answer your question, no, a pedestrian street crossing count was not done. Do you have another question?
Yeah. I'd like you to check into the American Disability Act and see what is written there about handicap accessibilities.
Okay.
And the other one is, what is the verdict on the aerial platform fire truck? Is that in service?
It's out for maintenance, period.
Did you hear him, Robert?
Yeah, what's that?
Did you hear him?
No.
It's out for maintenance.
It's been out for how long? 2 months now?
Yeah, until they get parts.
That's the hard part.
You're waiting on parts?
Yeah.
Weren't you told before that was bought that you could no longer get parts for that fire truck?
No, we were not.
Did you get that information from somebody?
Nope, we can't get parts for our engine 1 right now, so I don't know if it's irrelevant or not. It's a specialty trucks. Those trucks are specialities, so.
No, but
And honestly, Robert, this is a decision of the association. I don't see where the town falls into this.
because the town registers it, the town insures it, and by state law, whoever the registration name is in is who owns the truck.
I think it's a shared registration, if I remember.
Is it in the association name?
It's got the association and town name on it.
So you're paying for part of the insurance and stuff onto it too?
The association bought the truck. I think they should have a little bit of right to it.
So your question was answered, Robert. Do you have any other concerns?
No, that'll be it.
Okay. Is there any other business? One last time?
I can add something on ADA.
Okay.
The American Disabilities Act asks that
you place no handicapped person ahead or different than an able-bodied person. So if you have a crosswalk, it's expected that you use the crosswalk. We do have those little pads down, so if you're blind, you can sense those, but it doesn't govern it any different than that. You have crosswalks, so therefore you have access.
Everybody, yes.
So from what I'm hearing, it sounds like we're in compliance.
You are in compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, if there's nothing else, can I have a motion to go in executive?
I'll make motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Alright, we are in the executive session.